Have you ever felt overwhelmed with all that's going on in the world? Sometimes we don't realize that we can make a difference. My name is Debbie Van Grieken, and it is my hope to inspire you to take small steps towards social impact. Join us each week as we have conversations with those who have taken simple steps towards living a more sustainable and socially conscious lifestyle. If you want to make social impact, let's start small. The Small Steps podcast is proudly sponsored by Moya Shea Products. As a listener, enjoy 15% off your online purchase. Use code SMALLSTEPS15 at checkout. At Moya, we believe in people helping people. Supporting the local and global communities that help our organization succeed is very important to us. We apply a fair trade framework when purchasing raw materials, supporting farmers and families. Thinking global and acting local, Moya works with organizations to better the lives of children through education and fair trade. Are you looking for the best moisturizer for beautiful, healthy, glowing skin? Our Shea products are superb moisturizers and have exceptional healing properties for those suffering from skin issues. Check out these products and our wellness line at moyasheabutter.com. Hi there. I'm so happy to be back with you today. I hope your day is going fantastic. Do you remember our episode about stuff? I think it was episode 4. It was around the mindset we have around stuff. Take a listen if you missed it, but if you caught it, I gave you a challenge at the end to take some small steps to gaining control of your stuff and letting go of the emotional attachment we have to our belongings. So tell me, how did it go? Was it hard? Were you able to take a small step towards decluttering your space? Are you worried about this week's challenge? Don't worry. This is all about taking small steps. Because this week, we are talking about something challenging. It's zero waste. What is it, and is it even possible? Well, zero waste is definitely a lifestyle, and it focuses on preventing waste from going into landfills and incinerators. It's about encouraging the design of the resource life cycles so that all of the products are renewed. Thanks to Wikipedia for that definition, but for also discouraging me when I read that only 9% of plastic gets recycled. Does that discourage you too? Well, that's why we're here, to learn and to make changes. So many of us want to make a difference and change, but we get overwhelmed because we're not perfect and we want to quit because it's hard. But I love the quote by Anne Marie Bonneau. She says, "We don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly." Well, that makes me feel so much better and hopeful because I can do that, and I know you can too. It's all about the small steps we take. So what are some of the things that we can do? Well, we need to start with refusing what we don't need. It sounds simple, but it's not. We've talked about this before. It goes back to our discussion about overconsumption. You really need to look at your personal consumption. If you don't need something, don't buy it or don't take it. Don't accept junk mail like flyers or sign up for emails from companies you don't want to support. Did you know that emails actually have a carbon footprint? Look it up. It's scary. Say no to the catalogs or the promotional materials. You know the ones with your lawyer's name on it. I've actually had to have some tough conversation with other professionals about the materials they give away. I asked them, do you know if the person was paid fairly for this? Is this the highest quality? Is this something that's going to break as soon as I bring it back home? Am I going to have to throw it out? Quite often, the answer is no. So it's okay for you to say no too. We've talked about decluttering our home. Remember, is this the stuff you want to bring into your space? Don't forget how incredible you feel when you have an organized, clean space to come home to. So let's talk about some other things you can do or swaps you can make towards a zero waste home. I recently made a kit for my car. I got a reusable straw, bamboo cutlery set. You can even use a regular fork, knife, and spoon from your home. And I got a nice cloth carrying case. You can use an old clean makeup bag or reuse something you already have. I also included a glass container with a lid for takeout food and a mason jar with a lid for beverages. I put a cloth napkin in there, and now I'm all set for when I go out and do deliveries for Moya Shea products. I can either bring my own lunch, or if I stop for snacks, I can use my own utensils and containers. Most cafes and restaurants are totally happy to do this for you. You can call ahead, or you can create a list of eco-friendly options on your typical driving routes. This has been a game changer for me, and I actually love eating with real utensils. So I'd love for you to create a car kit for yourself. or your family. If you've got kids, get them involved. You can use old lunch boxes that they might have outgrown because of a character. I'm actually not embarrassed to tell you that I went to a university marketing class recently, and I took with me a Batman lunch thermos. It was a great conversational piece, and I actually bonded with another boy mom. Okay, so what are some other ways we can reduce what's going into our garbage? Well, we can start dealing with our food waste better. We actually go through a lot of food waste, and this is a big contributor to our environmental problems. So we can start composting. So even if you live in an apartment, there's many places that you can now start getting compost options and bins right in the city. I'm fortunate that I live in the country, so now I'm able to compost and then use that soil in our garden. We also need to look for ways to reduce the packaging. So when you're buying your fruits and vegetables, you need to look for fruits and vegetables with no packaging. It's so common sense, but it's amazing how much stuff is packaged, but it's packaged because it's convenient. We might have to spend an extra 5 minutes cutting or chopping, but we really need to make this effort. Ways to avoid packaging is also to start buying from bulk stores and refilleries. You can start rethinking about your personal care products, like using bars of soap instead of liquid soaps. You can make your own deodorants and lotions. I'll link some of my do-it-yourself recipes from Moya Shea Products. We had a fun segment this summer. We called it Make It with Moya Mondays, and we put it on Instagram. We also have a Pinterest board too. So you can just check that out, and there's lots of great recipes and other recipes on Pinterest as well. So start having some fun with it. Remember, it's about finding small steps that you can make that work for you and your family. So switching to simple products with natural ingredients can have a big impact. Remember, switching from single-use products and looking for alternatives like using reusable bags, cloth diapers, taking old towels and sheets and making paper towels, and dare I say, toilet paper, too far? I think it's an area worth exploring for sure. I've lived in some pretty remote areas of the world, and some options are just nicer, like bidets and washable cloths. Okay, we can move on, but let's go back to that one in another episode, okay? So we're looking at ways to reduce packaging, and I've got to say one of the worst culprits is toys. I still have nightmares of my 5 boys asking for us to get the toys out of the packaging on Christmas morning. With my grandson, I'm getting way more creative. I'm supporting local woodworking toy makers. I'm looking for recycled toys, thrifted toys, and I'm getting some pretty unique gifts. Last week, he turned 1, and 1-year-olds don't really need much, and they don't really care what Granny gave them. But I wanted to mark the occasion, and I wanted to get something for him that my son and daughter-in-law would appreciate. I came up with a pretty cool idea. I paid homage to our Scottish heritage, and I purchased a plot of land. So it's a 1x1 square foot in the Highlands of Scotland. I'll link it in the show notes for you. So it's actually a conservation effort to protect the forest, but it gives you an official lord or ladyship. So everyone loved it. I printed the proclamation on recycled paper. It's framed and now hangs in his room. We now have to call him Lord Oliver. And my son is incredibly jealous, but it's so much fun. So going zero waste is challenging. It's hard, I know, but we can take small steps and we can get creative and have fun with it. So my challenge to you for this week is to start monitoring what goes in your trash. Look for ways to reduce it. Can you make it less trash for the next week? Make your car kit, pick 1 or 2 easy swaps, and let's see what we can do. You never know, you may turn into one of those people who have only a mason jar full of garbage. Until then, keep trying, have fun, take a small step, and keep listening. We'll start doing all this stuff together, and we'll start working towards a more sustainable life. We just have to start small. Thanks. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to Start Small. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found a small step you can take today. Make sure you share it with a friend. And if you have not done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you are enjoying this podcast, consider taking a moment and leaving us an honest review in your Apple podcasting app so more people can be inspired to take small steps towards social impact.